Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing Magic, and Mysticism. And today I'm going to be talking a little bit about Clawneck. Now, who, pray tell, is Clawneck? You may not have heard of him. He is a goetic spirit. However, he's not one of the 72. He's not part of the classification of entities in the Ars Goetia. He is more from the Secrets of Solomon and the Grimoire Vera. So, not part of the 72, but if you were to, the countdown of the greatest 100 demons of all time, he'd be in the top 100. So he's not in the the Goetia. However, because he is classified as a demon, and just to remind you that when we're talking about angels, demons, and everything, there is a continuum of light and dark. Angels are not completely light, they have a little bit of dark, and demons themselves have a bit of darkness and a little bit of light. And you can find them along a line. Some demons are darker than others. Some demons are actually closer to the middle of light. And the angels, of course, they can be dark too. Again, angels have leveled cities. Angels can be called upon to destroy your coworkers at your place of business. So be sure not to fall into this dichotomy too far up to black and white. But I use it as an idea of kind of a range of who you're dealing with and what might be the capabilities of this particular entity. In fact, I don't even really like using. I'd rather that idea. I'd rather you all kind of experience it for yourself. So when we're talking about this whole subject, Clawneck is an entity that is more about prosperity. So if you were, you wanted to increase your prosperity, your abundance, you can call upon him. He's one of the three big ones that you can call on, which would be, Mammon, Clawneck, and you can call on Bune or Bime. Two different names. And they all have their own strengths in regard to increasing your finances and your money. So what exactly does Clawneck do? Well, he is known to be able to find hidden treasures. When the grimoires were written, there was more of a focus on precious metals, silver and gold. So the hidden treasures, today would be more like unexpected sources of income. Things happen serendipitously around the corner, and before you know it, you have a small windfall, or maybe you got an unexpected gift from a loved one, or maybe you got a really good deal on something that you were wanting to purchase, maybe a car or a house, things like that. That's one of the things that he is known for. He is also, I guess in the same way that Saint Expedite, which we did a video on, is known for, is he is known to work quickly. And of course, when we're dealing with the subject of demons in general, because they are considered to be closer to the earth plane, that seems to be the case for many of them. So he has the capability of manifesting things quickly, so closer to the earth. He's not like an angel, which is more celestial and more distant in that sense. Another thing that he's known for is for sustainable sources of income. Maybe you don't want to kind of live pillar to post and have little bitty small odd jobs, and you want something more regular. Well, he would be the guy to have a conversation with about that. He could also help you discover potential sources of income, maybe things that you've never thought about that you might be good at. Maybe with his wisdom he can discover a hidden talent that maybe you don't know about, that you can potentially make an income off of. He can also identify new opportunities for you. Point in your direction, hey, you may not be paying attention to that over there, but this is something where you can potentially make some money off of. So those are pretty much his, I guess, areas when we're talking about prosperity, abundance, and finance. The other two, Mammon and Bune, they have their own strengths in regard to that type of thing. So let's talk a little bit about him and how to approach him. What are the associations with him, so that you'll have some idea of how to actually construct a ritual. And by the way, I'm giving you the elements. I'm not really giving you a long spell. I believe that if you have the elements, you can experiment and come up with your own style and your own way of doing that. There isn't any one specific way of doing this type of work. So I encourage you all to be creative and experiment. So that being said, how does he normally appear, Clawneck? Well, he normally appears as male, light skin, black hair, black eyes. He is of average height, and he has kind of an easygoing presence. So this is not somebody that you need to be afraid of, as far as when we're talking about the darker spirits in general. He is very approachable. He is more like, if you've ever met somebody who is an entrepreneur but kind of very humble and kind of lighthearted and doesn't take anything too seriously, that would be him. As far as an offering is concerned, public acknowledgement, that would be something that you can make a deal with him on. After he does what he needs to do, go on social media, or with whatever, if you belong to a cult group, or some other method of giving him a little bit of credit. Demons, especially by this public acknowledgement, it actually attracts other people to him, and it almost in a way it increases their power a little bit. Another thing he's known for wanting is maybe whiskey, money, a drop of blood, which isn't uncommon, and sex. That could be, again, it could be fluid, maybe on his sigil, and you can easily find the sigil on the internet. You can just take it, you can draw it. I like to draw my sigils because it helps me get to know it better, but that's a suggestion. Now, colors. So whenever you're doing your rituals, you're going to want to include things that might be attractive to the spirit. So what is he more attractive to? So we're talking about the color orange, black, red. You might include, if you were going to use that first session as a petition or using him to help with a spell, you can include green candles too, to symbolize the money that you're interested in making. Scent. If you wanted to include a scent in this process, tobacco is something that he is known to have a predilection for. Now, what about my experiences with Clawneck? And I would say that my experiences have been positive. I haven't been working with him for a very long while, but I can say that among the, let's say, 10 different goetic spirits that I've encountered and met with and tried to work with, he's definitely one of my favorite. Again, he's very approachable. He has a sense of humor. He's kind of funny, and he is kind of a nice guy, and he seems pretty humble, and he is wise, in the areas in which you can benefit from him. So I encourage everybody to listen when he says what he needs to impart to you. Now, the way that this has worked for me when I've tried to work with them, talk about the hidden treasures. I've had wanting to save money, for example. This has worked two different ways. One is I've found that I'm getting deals on things that I'm not looking for. So it isn't like I'm cutting coupons to save money on groceries. What will happen is that I'll be going to buy something completely different, and then all of a sudden I'll have it in my mind that to go down this aisle for no reason. All of a sudden my favorite coffee is like $3-4 off. So that would be an example, and it stacks. So this won't be a random thing that I can discount. It will be things that could happen in succession. I've been comped at restaurants when it's unusual for me to be comped, you know, where it's not like I'm there all the time, but you know, hey, free food. Yeah. So as far as the savings concerned, I won't go too much into, you know, there's basically, when you're talking about increasing your wealth, there is the money that you bring in, and there is the money that you spend. And as the saying goes, it's not how much money you make, it's how much that you keep. So there is that balance. You don't want to save too much because it puts you in a state of scarcity, and that's not a good space to be in if you're trying to have more money in the bank account. So you actually need both, in my opinion. So he has helped me solidify saving money where it isn't, where I don't feel that I'm doing anything too uncomfortable or anything like that. It actually has the habit has set in to where it feels natural, just like brushing your teeth. You know, there's that. There is again, the hidden treasures. About a year ago, I applied on the pennyhoarder.com. Actually, a cool website if you ever wanted to go check it out. Different ways of making extra money, different ways of saving, coupons, all kind of different, really cool stuff. That's really been something that's been valuable. But anyway, about a year ago, I applied for this side gig, and it was for a jury consulting firm. So didn't hear about anything about him for a year. Then all of a sudden I got a call, and I answered it, and it was the jury consulting firm. So this was just after I started to do a petition with Solomonic. Well, what they were offering me is just to come in, hear a few cases, give my opinion, and that's it. So they were offering me $100, so I went in. It was supposed to be 3 hours. It only took 2.5. And they fed us fried shrimp, and they took really good care of us. And as we were walking out, they gave us an envelope of cash. So I guess they were trying to keep it off the books as far as their tax obligation. But you know, $100 cash is $100 cash. So you know, that was that. So. And my expectations were not really huge for Solomonic. So this is actually in keeping with what I was wanting. I just wanted a little bit of extra money. And as time has gone on, I've seen my bank account go up and up and up without much effort on my part, which is exactly how I want it, because I, like you, have a certain amount of time in the day. And if I work full-time and I have obligations at home, then, you know, do I really want an extra job or anything like that? Well, for me at this point, I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to sit here and do videos for y'all, and go on my Patreon and do this and that. So it's been working with him has been a way to kind of increase that income without me having to extend myself too much. So I have nothing but good things to say about him. So if you are inclined, please go check it out. rewatch this video, maybe write down some of the things I mentioned about the offerings and the scents and what you can do and everything like that, and try to make that connection. Okay, and that is basically it. Please subscribe and like. I just put a new video on my Patreon. If you are on my Patreon, then you're already aware of it. You probably already saw it. I sent a notice out. But I did a video on a detailed right on Hecate. So, in any case, I will see you all later, and have a good rest of the weekend.